My name is Mindy Horowitz, and I absolutely love my job. I am here to give you peace of mind as you try to help support your students from afar. College is an amazing time for our children to grow and spread their wings and fly, but sometimes a little extra love and support from a local can make all of the difference. We will be here for you to help you celebrate your students, as well as help you to navigate unanticipated needs that pop up along the way, be it recommendations for doctors, restaurants, transportation, the list goes on and on.
If your children have difficulty navigating technology like their smartphones or Googling for recommendations for things they might need, have no fear. You can spend some money on a personal concierge for your kids. Concierge moms, as they're called in this particular case. So the woman that you just saw in that video is Mindy Horowitz. She created a service back in 2019 called Mindy Knows. Parents pay for someone local to be there for their college student children when they can't be there. So obviously this is more for kids who travel out of state to go to college. They help with birthdays, health scares, you name it. Families can hire one of these moms for students at Penn State, Northwestern, Washington University in St. Louis, and more. And they make it clear that they're not trying to be a substitute for mom or dad, but they think that this is the next best thing. We consider ourselves to be experts in our city and can help other parents with personal recommendations, advice, and tips in our cities. We think of ourselves as their family away from home, and we give parents peace of mind knowing that we're here to help when they need some extra support. So a few examples of what a concierge mom might do. They might recommend a local doctor, finding a wheelchair to rent or visiting grandparents coming from out of town, drop off a Valentine's Day or birthday surprise or care package, deliver chicken soup if a student isn't feeling well or if they're feeling sick. They won't do things like wash clothes, iron sheets, or cook dinner, so they won't do errands like that, but they seem to provide other services that these college students should be able to do on their own.
Mindy's a genius. So look, I'm torn on the story. On the one hand, like this is such an obviously good service. Okay,
is it?
And it's not that expensive. So I think tons of parents will probably use it. And if the parents don't pay for it, the kids will probably pay for it. And if it was around and I had the money, I probably would have used it when I was in college. So that's how I feel. But on the other hand, like as you grow up, you're supposed to become an adult. And what does it mean to be a grown-up, an adult? It means that you learn to have personal responsibility. You learn to do things on your own. So it's not a great social trend. I get the logic of using this service, but it's not a great social trend for our culture that adulthood keeps getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. And so then when folks like, some of this, especially among the nicer colleges, the wealthier folks, they get into the workforce and they think there's supposed to be a mommy at work. And at work, there ain't no mommy.
You gotta let the kids go at some point. Look, I know I'm not a parent, and I know that people get super touchy when you critique certain forms of parenting, especially when you're not a parent. I get that. And I also have no doubt that if I had children, I would be the worst helicopter mother on the planet. I'm glad I'm not a mom and that I'm not a helicopter parent. With that said, I think that they're actually doing more damage because you gotta let them go. You gotta let them fail and pick themselves up again, right? You gotta give them an opportunity to build resilience.
Yeah, no, totally. And so yeah, when I got to college, I had to figure out a lot of things that I didn't do on my own. And that's how you grow up, right? But if this service was around, I would have used it.
So let me get into the price. Let me get into the prices, because you're right. It is shockingly affordable for what the concierge moms are willing to do. So it's $49 a month of service, right? I just do $50. I hate like that whole game that people play.
Yeah, we know it's 50. We know it's 50. Okay, so anyway.
$250 per semester, or you can do $450 for a year, or $1,600 for all 4 years of school. And then as you can see from that list, it kind of breaks it down in regard to what kind of services you get depending on which package you buy, right? So support for the entire month, unlimited guidance and recommendation. Like, what is the point of Google? Like, what's the point of really? I need like some random like woman in the state that I'm going to school in to give me the recommendations. Yeah. I want to read reviews and stuff like it's all online. These kids don't know how to search things online.
Yeah, I was thinking of when I went to college, actually, because back then finding a local doctor might have been kind of
disaster.
Yes.
A disaster of epic proportions. Right. I totally get that, but we're not living in those days.
Okay, hold on. And when you're sick, having food delivered to you would have been manna from heaven, kind of, almost literally,
right? It's called Postmates.
Right, but nowadays, now that I think about it, I'm like, wait, I was thinking about my years. Yeah, it's called DoorDash, Postmates. If you need chicken soup, why don't you just order chicken soup from DoorDash?
Because
especially if you've got the money to pay for this, then you have the money for DoorDash.
Have they at least potty trained these kids yet? Or was that too hard? Was that too hard for Jimmy? Come on, man. Like I can't get. Look, the reason why I care about this story is because they then graduate and then later I have to work with them.
Yeah.
Keeping it 100. And then when you give them simple tasks that you're supposed to do, it's part of the job, it's in the job title, it's like a big controversy. Come on, Cenk. We know it.
In the past.
In the past, no, we don't have that anymore.
Okay.
But we've had run-ins with that. And it's annoying because it's like, this is your, I'm not being a bad person here, this is literally your job. But they're not used to people having expectations of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've had young people in the past that were like, my manager's ordering me around. Kind of their job, okay? Like not ordering it out in a bad way or in a vicious way or in yelling or anything. They're giving me orders of things I have to do. That's called a job. That's called a job. But they never had one. They've never had to deal with one. And that's why I keep saying wealthier young people, right? I don't see that in middle class and poor millennials and Gen Z, right? And guys, I mean, now it's gotten so absurd. Before I get to that, I realized, speaking of calling us out, our membership on YouTube is $4.99, and I think $9.99. But that's YouTube. On our website, on tyt.com/join, it's $10. Because we literally had that conversation like decade and a half ago, and I was like, guys, who are we kidding? Okay.
Yeah, just go with what.
Yeah, $5, $10. That's what it was for a long time. You can get $7.99. You can name your own price, whatever. But like we were like, the only place forever that was like, no, it's $10, not $9.99. Yeah. You know, $9.99 is $10. Okay. Anyways, tyt.com/join or hit the join button. Okay,
they're already members.
Okay. No, for later when we put this up.
Okay.
Okay. So last thing is, guys, we did this story about this before, and also for the members and stuff. People showing up to dates with their moms.
Don't do it.
And people showing up to interviews with their moms.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it. Come on.
Like if you gotta bring your mom to a date, you've already lost. Like in an interview, your mom is not going to be here. You need to do the job. Come on, guys.